Hey guys, it's Bud from Survive at Southwest here. I've just been out looking around for some new sites to do some videos, and it just started pouring. It stopped now. I managed to stay out of the rain a little bit, but on the distance there's a bit of thunder, and I just checked the radar and we're going to be getting a lot more rain very shortly, and I'm too far away from my car to outrun it, so I'm going to have to make some shelter. Let's get to it. Alrighty guys, so I'm gonna have to make some shelter pretty quick, because yeah, I'm not gonna outrun this storm. I didn't bring a whole lot with me to be able to prepare for the wet, and it is very humid at the moment. The air is just getting very heavy, which is telling me that we're about to get a fair bit of rain. So I'm just looking around, and I've just found a perfect spot to make a little quick survival lean-to shelter, and that would be that big log over there. Now, before I get going, I just want to get you all, smash that subscribe button, hit likes, share my videos, get them out there. All right, so when you're looking for a place to do a shelter, if you're doing a very quick one, you want to find something that's already half there if you can. And what I've got here is I've got a log, which is about 1 meter high with a nice big flat side on it. And it's been down for a while. Now, seeing as we're getting some other weather, what I want to do is I want to look up. I want to look for any dead branches that may come down if we get some wind. So I've just checked those two off. So no dead branches. I've got something that's half done. So all I need to do is just put a lean-to off that. I'm pretty protected in here, in the way of wind and everything like that, because I've got a lot of these little salt bush around me. All right, well, let's get to it. So I'll just need to start finding some branches and some sticks, leaves, bits and pieces like that. The ground's already wet, so I'm gonna have to find a way to get myself up off the ground a bit. All right, I think I've got a plan. So one thing I forgot to mention about my shelter is, because we are gonna be getting some bad weather, I wanna keep my shelter as low as possible. And the reason I want to keep it low is because the lower I keep it, the less chance wind is going to get in there. It's going to keep more heat in, and it's going to keep me a lot warmer. And the smaller your shelter, the more chance you have of doing a better waterproofing effort on it. All right, I'm going to start getting me some branches. All right, so now I've got enough sticks to be able to make the frame. So I'm going to make the frame a simple lean-to straight off that log with some supports through it. I'm going to hold that all together with some paracord. Now let me just get my paracord and I'll just show you an interesting thing about it. So I have with me 2 bits of paracord. One proper paracord and one cheap paracord that says that it's paracord. Now let me just show you the difference between the two. We'll start off with the cheap one. So if you have a look at the cheap paracord, pull the sheath back a bit. It does have 3 inner cores, but those inner cores are all just made of loose strand. Okay? Now, if you get a good quality paracord, like this, I'm using a 7-strand. If you have a look at the inner sheath of that, you got 7 strands, and they all can be used as individual ropes. So straight away, I have got that one bit of rope is now 8 times longer, because the sheath itself you can also use to tie things up with as a rope. So what I'm going to do with this is, because this is only a couple of meters long, is I'm going to de-sheath this paracord so I can use all these to tie them up. So what I'm going to do that is, if I try and pull them out one at a time, they're all just going to get tangled. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie a knot, just a simple thumb knot, in the end of them, just to keep them all together. And then just half turn, 2 half hitches. So now I can pull that out and they're not all in a big tangle. Okay, I am going to sacrifice that little bit at the end, because what I'm going to do, I'm just going to walk one out because they are twisted in there. Alright, so I've walked one out. So now I have one bit of paracord, or one bit of thing, and that there is surprisingly strong too. It's definitely strong enough for what we're going to use it for today. So using that, and these sticks behind me, I'm going to make the frame. Alright, so I got my frame up. I'll show you what I've done there. Okay, so I've got my lean-to poles coming off the log, and I've got these supports going across. Now these ones that are going across and these ones that are interweaved, they're there to hold the leaves and bits and pieces I put on there. So it's not a very big shelter, but it's going to be enough, because I'm only a very small person, to be able to keep me out of the weather. Alright, so I'll just go collect some bits and pieces to cover that with. So I've just been walking around looking for bits and pieces to cover my shelter with. As you can see, I've got some here. They're not all from the same tree. Just to reduce my impact, I've gone around to multiple different trees, taking a branch off each. And I've forgotten a valuable lesson that I'd learnt about checking your different areas. So your first area check is exactly what you've got on you, what you got in your pocket, your backpack. Then you got your first area, which is what's within a few meters of you. And then you got your third area, which is what's a bit further out. Now, looking for branches and tree leaves and that, I ventured out into the third area, which I really should have checked beforehand before grabbing some branches, because if you come for a walk, there is this big dead banksia tree just laying down on the ground, where I could have got a lot of my construction materials from. But look at this. there is some nice bits of bark on here that I can use for waterproofing. Another big dead tree just over there, which also will have some nice big chunks of bark on it, which is going to make our job a lot easier. There's also this here, which I'm guessing if I get my knife in there, yep. Oh, there you go. There's some food if you want it. Nice big wood roach. So venture out, not too far away from where you're setting up, but it does pay to have a look around, see what else you got around, because I could have been there for hours looking for leaves and that, when I've got perfect materials to build right here. All right, well, I'm going to bring them back to camp. All right, so I'm pretty sure I've got enough material now to transfer that onto there. So what I want to do is I'm going to be starting from the bottom and working my way up. Purely that's because as water runs down it, it's going to drop down onto the next layer, onto the next layer. If you start from the top down, that water's just going to run and run in. All right, so let's get into that. Okay, so here we have the shelter. So as I said, it's only small, but it's enough to keep me and my gear out of the rain. It's not 100% waterproof, but it's going to keep me out of a bulk of the rain. And what I could do to make this better is if I could just build a little wall here out of sticks and everything and had a fire right here, that little wall will just reflect all that heat back into there and I would stay toasty warm even if I did get a little bit wet. What I'd do now is I'd clean that out, I'd collect up some of this salt bush that's all around and I'd lay that on the ground, and that's just going to keep me out of that moisture. So let's test it for fit, shall we? Alright, so it is a snug fit, but I fit in here quite nicely, and my backpack I can also use as a pillow and just to block off that entrance from some of the prevailing winds. Alright, well guys, that's it from me today. So be sure to like, share, subscribe my videos, share the name around, check out the Facebook page, Survive at Southwest, and I'll see you next time.